I hate how my girlfriend acts when drunk. So last night I was at home while my girlfriend was seeing her family at her place. She eventually goes on a night out with her friends from back in high school and proceeds to get extremely drunk. Which is okay, and I was happy to let her enjoy the night. But towards the end she starts spamming me to respond, all while pouring her heart out. So we call as she goes home and she pretty much unloads all her thoughts on this call. Now all of this is perfectly understandable so far as she had had a lot to drink. But then she casually dropped a few things that didn't sit right with me and was really dismissive when I brought up how that made me feel pretty upset. Including the fact that she texted my supervisor, we work at the same place, saying I'm going to be handing in my resignation notice soon. Which was something I wanted to tell my colleagues myself, but now that they'll probably know before I'm next in, it's going to be much less personal, not too big of a problem. But when I was a bit upset about that, she basically just told me to get a grip and that it's okay because everyone loves her at work. Which wasn't even my point, LMAO. She then went on a rant about straight white men. I am a straight white dude, for a good while until I cut the call early saying I was too tired. This is absolutely nothing like how she usually acts, and it's getting pretty ridiculous. This morning she's acting like nothing happened and might not even remember everything. How do I politely tell her that I don't like this behavior at all without sounding controlling? And should I bring up what she was saying or not? Edit, update. Thank you all for all the different advice, opinions and conversations. I ended up talking to her about it and let her know where I stand on everything that happened, and I'll leave if this happens again. She apologized and was even happy I brought it up. The situation with my work resignation turned out okay. I was able to tell my boss I was leaving before he found out from my girlfriend. Just means they now know I'm handing in my notice next shift. When I was 27 I had a boyfriend kindly sit me down and ask why I drank until I was sick or blackout. I didn't even realize I was that bad. He explained how my blackout actions hurt him, which felt awful not remembering any of it. I stopped drinking for a long time after that, and now I'm able to have one cider or an occasional cocktail at a nice dinner but no longer drink like that. And even though we didn't work out, I'm thankful he had that conversation with me. Best wishes to y'all. I'm going to say absolutely. Do her a huge favor and let her know how it made you feel to see her in that state. She needs to hear this, and it will be better for both you and her in the end. You can still do it with kindness. If she reacts crazy, maybe there are other issues that need to be looked at. I don't think you need to be polite. She texted your supervisor about your intentions? Nah, man. That is totally unacceptable. There is no realm in which a girlfriend should be interfering with your job like this. Tell her to cut the drinking and stop getting drunk, or she is history. Stop trying to talk to someone when they are drunk. When someone is drunk, discussing what they're saying that is hurtful is a lesson in futility. They are too impaired for this to be a rational, productive conversation. It's best to leave any conversation until the person is sober. Boyfriend's brother told me he cheated on me while they were drunk. I, F32, have been with my boyfriend, M38, for a little under a year. We got together officially pretty soon after we met, and are in a fairly serious relationship. We go to family events together, trips, talk every day, etc. We support each other and get along well and frequently talk about building a future together. When my boyfriend goes out with his friends, he sometimes drinks to the point where he says he can't remember anything. He usually calls me when he's out with them, and I've never gotten the impression he's doing anything shady on these nights, except drinking so much, which is another factor he's aware of and not proud of. 2 nights ago he called me at 1 a.m. completely drunk to say good night. His brother was visiting, and they went out on a bar crawl. His brother causes problems for their family and is known to run around on his partners, so I wasn't thrilled, but I figured my boyfriend would appreciate one last night out with his brother. They're both slurring their words while talking to me, and suddenly I hear his brother shout in the background, "He got a blowjob on the ride home." I asked my boyfriend if this was true, and he said yes. I started asking him what the hell happened, and his brother kept egging it on. I was furious and told my boyfriend to tell me the truth, and when his brother wouldn't stop, I finally shouted that his brother is an irritating ass and this is why nobody likes having him around more. His brother stopped and my boyfriend completely changed his tune, promising me he didn't do anything and he wouldn't do anything. He said his brother was just starting shit and that I shouldn't pay attention to him. Yesterday morning I walked to his house to confront him and the passenger seat in his car was reclined back. My boyfriend was hungover and told me that nothing happened, that his brother was starting shit and he didn't cheat on me. We both had to go to work so I left, and when I tried talking to him throughout the day he was grouchy, probably due to the hangover, and said he didn't want to talk but we'd talk later. I've been cheated on in prior relationships, so he knows this is a touchy subject for me. I've definitely had some paranoid moments in the past, typically when I've been drinking, where I've straight up asked if he ever did or would. He always swears he wouldn't. I'm taking a few days away to think, but what keeps running through my head is why would his brother say that if it weren't true? Why would my boyfriend initially say yes until I started freaking out and then deny it? The drinking issues aside, I'm having a hard time wondering whether or not I should believe him. It was just such a weird interaction that I'm starting to have doubts about whether or not I can trust him. If he regularly drinks so much that he's not sure if someone sucked his dick, then he has bigger problems. You don't want to stick around for them. He is nearly 40 years old. This behavior is unacceptable at any age, but a young person might grow up. This person has accepted that these things happen. You can do better than this. He did it. There is no logical reason to admit to infidelity if you didn't do it. Why would he put you in a position of distrust just as a joke, especially knowing your history? He admitted it and then when you rightfully got mad he tried to backtrack. Lol, come on, it's obviously true. There is a very small chance his brother might say it as a joke, but that's really unlikely. Much more likely he did it and his brother shouted it out. But there is zero chance your boyfriend would agree if he hadn't done it. Getting drunk doesn't make you insane. He knows what he did and he was too drunk to realize it was bad, so he admitted it. Once he realized it was bad he tried to deny it. I feel like you are just skipping over the point where he said yes. I mean, sure, the brother is a drama queen, I understand that, but why would your boyfriend agree with it? Hey, just wanted to mention that it can't hurt to go get tested. So, there's a few options here, but the top two in my mind are: 1. The blowjob didn't happen, but he thought it'd be funny to say it did and didn't care enough to consider how his joke would affect you. 2. The blowjob did happen, because he didn't care enough to consider how him cheating would affect you. Do you want to be with the kind of guy who would treat you this way? Even without the family to navigate, he sounds like a lot of work. And if drinking alcohol means he stops caring how things affect other people, the only solution is to completely stop. Worse, maybe he doesn't care when he's sober, he's just better at hiding it. M20 I just found out my sister, F19, paid her friend, F19, to date me. Before my sister's friend Mia and I started going out, I was a mess. I had one serious relationship that ended badly with my ex cheating on me. I didn't know it then, but my sister felt pity for me and ended up giving Mia $50 to go out with and pretend to like me. Mia only confessed yesterday, after 3 months of our relationship, saying she couldn't lie to me anymore. I asked my sister and she admitted it too. Now I'm feeling really lost. I don't know what to do since I started liking Mia a lot and it hurts so bad knowing she lied about liking me. Update. I'm going to try asking Mia if she actually caught feelings for me during our relationship before deciding what to do next. Update. You guys are right. Mia does like me too, so I am going to continue this relationship with her. Good chance Mia likes you as $50 for one date to cheer you up is reasonable. $50 for 3 months is ludicrous. So real question is, are you going to throw 3 months and a relationship away just because your sister paid for dinner to once to make you happy? How does Mia feel about the relationship now? Because if she initially only did it for the money but now genuinely feels a connection, then I could maybe see past that. $50 for one date seems like a reasonable price, but $50 for a 3-month relationship feels insanely low. So I think there's a chance she might genuinely like you now. That's so ed up. She did that out of pity? That is the dumbest harebrained scheme from a cheap 90s rom-com movie. How else was this going to end? No possible scenario was going to end with you not knowing and being hurt over it. Your sister is an idiot and so is Mia for going along with it. Can you find a therapist? You have a lot to sort out. I wouldn't even speak to my sister again. The relationship between me and my sister would be over if she did this. She's bloody cheap for a prostitute then, surely she must have caught feelings. Otherwise this makes no sense. Who would work for less than 50 cents a day? $50 for 3 months seems like a bargain to me. Would you date someone you didn't like for 3 months for only $50? No, you wouldn't. It's hard to imagine a 19-year-old girl committing to play a girlfriend role for that long for that little money. So I would assume that Mia really likes you at this point, and whatever the origin story is, you have a good thing now. Don't mess it up. You're living in a romantic comedy. Frankly, I wish my sisters had paid someone to date me at your age, because I wasn't good at getting dates myself. I think your sister was doing something good for you, and someday you'll look back and appreciate it. I think it's kind of cute. Accidentally sent my brother a topless picture. Too long did not read. M24 I was sexting with a guy over Snapchat and sent him a picture of me topless from my memories folder. I didn't realize at the time until this morning that I accidentally sent the picture to that guy and my brother, 27M. I'm so embarrassed I don't know what to do. Do I act like nothing happened or should I apologize to him? He's the type of guy when embarrassing or awkward stuff happens he doesn't usually address it. I just feel so bad and he obviously saw the picture because he set chats to delete immediately. I'm so embarrassed. I don't know what I should do, please help. Just say, sorry for last night, it was a misclick. You don't have to explain any further, but that way you can at least have some closure. Apologize for making a tit of yourself rolling on the floor laughing. Girl, one time I accidentally texted my dad, "Gimme that dick," and wanted to throw myself off a building LMFAO. Just say sorry and move on, the embarrassment will pass, eventually lol cold sweat smile. You def need to give him some indication that it was an accident. Otherwise he'll be sitting there stressing and thinking that you meant to send the nude. Send him a get well card. Write a sorry for the trauma. Let's never go to Alabama or talk about this. Note. S. Life happens beer mugs. A quick my bad. Sorry about that, and an agreement to never speak of it again, as long as he doesn't feel like he needs to process it. It's only a big deal if the two of you make it a big deal.